Hello and welcome dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the topic Gupta polity. The coming of Guptas on the political scene of India was a remarkable event with far-reaching consequences on the future developments of historical processes. The period saw exceptional growth and development in the field of art, architecture, philosophy, literature, and religion. It was in this background that the nationalist scholars call it golden age of ancient India. Before we discuss about the political history of the Guptas, let me briefly introduce you the objectives of this module. The political history of Guptas, role of different rulers in the political history of Guptas with special reference to Samudragupta, causes responsible for the decline of the Gupta rule. First, we'll be talking about the original homeland of the Guptas. Since little is known about the Gupta family's ancestry and early history, several theories have naturally been generated. Some people believe names ending with the Gupta, like Shivgupta, which appears in a Satvana inscription, reflect their ancestry, while others believe that they were from a Vaishya caste and were incorporated into Kshatriya clan with the blessings of Brahmins. But these ideas seem a bit dubious. The original residence of the Guptas is likewise positioned variously by various scholars. Some would situate it in North Bengal, some in Magadha in Bihar, and yet others in Uttar Pradesh. Currently, it might be argued that the Gupta territory's initial heartland was in eastern Uttar Pradesh, based on the following arguments. The earliest inscription describing the achievements of an early Gupta monarch, Samudragupta, is found in this area and is known as the Allahabad pillar inscription. The character of the Gupta coin hoards discovered in this area suggests this. The Puranas' descriptions of early Gupta lands could be an indication of this. Possibly around the later half of the 3rd century AD, Guptas were a branch of the later Kushana family that ruled in northwest India. However, it was in the second decade of the 4th century AD they achieved independence, according to literary and archaeological data. Now we will be talking about the foundation of the Gupta Empire, and we will start with Chandragupta first. According to inscriptions, Sri Gupta was the first king and Gathakacha was his successor. The first independent ruler who bore the title Maharaja Adhiraj was the Chandragupta first. He expanded his realm after proclaiming his independence in Magadha with the aid of a marriage connection with the Lichavis. Our knowledge of this alliance comes from a unique class of coinage. On the front of these coins are depictions of Chandragupta and his queen Kumaradevi, while on the reverse is an image of a sitting goddess with the phrase Lichavya, that is Lichavis. The fact that these coins were made of gold, along with the fact that the Guptas adopted the Kushana gold coin weight system, though there are no concrete evidences regarding the actual boundaries of Chandragupta's kingdom, but it is assumed that it covered parts of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Bengal. From 319 to 320 AD, Chandragupta I is credited with ushering in a new era as well. No documentation explicitly states that he began this era. This became known as the Gupta Samvat or Gupta era. However, Chandragupta I is given credit for starting the period because he is identified as a Maharaj Adhiraja. Samudragupta was his son, and it was under his reign that the kingdom developed into an empire. Now we'll be talking about Samudragupta. We learn about Samudragupta's accession and conquests via an inscription that was afterwards inscribed on the Prayagparasti Ashokan pillar in Allahabad. An influential state official named Harisena wrote 33 verses that were inscribed on the pillar. According to the inscription, Maharaja Adhiraja Chandragupta I named his son Samudragupta as his successor in a most emotional manner. Both the courtiers and people of equal birth were delighted by this. Other princes may have made competing claims that were disapproved by this pronouncement. Additionally, there is a debate about this due to the discovery of certain gold coins with the name Kacha on them. The disagreement has developed for two reasons. First, Kacha's coins resembles Samudragupta's coins in many ways, and second, Kacha's name does not appear in the official list of Gupta emperors, even though it may be found in Gupta inscriptions. There have been several interpretations offered in this regard. One story holds that Samudragupta's brothers rose up against him and installed Kacha, the oldest, as king. He passed away nonetheless during the fight for power. We could only conclude that his reign would have been fairly brief given the relatively small number of Kacha coins discovered thus far. In spite of Chandragupta's abdication, Samudragupta did encounter obstacles in his attempt to ascend to the throne, but he ultimately succeeded. Now we'll be talking about expansion and consolidation of Guptas during Samudragupta. Samudragupta implemented an aggressive conquest-focused strategy for the growth and stability of Gupta authority. This started a process that resulted in the Gupta Empire's creation. We must, however, keep in mind that in some areas, particularly in the south, he permitted the kings he had vanquished to reign over their territories. They naturally acknowledged his suzerainty and paid him homage. Such a strategy, when applied to remote places, may have been successful in resolving issues with good communication and control, resulting in temporary stability. Let us briefly go over Samudragupta's aggressive campaigns that he carried out in several areas. Campaigns in Aryavarta or North India. According to some historians, Samudragupta once led his successful expedition against Aryavarta. However, other historians have asserted that there were two expeditions in North India, presuming that the Prayagparasti lists Samudragupta's victories in a chronological order. This is the case since the Prasti first lists 3 Aryavarta kings, then moves on to discuss his southern campaign and lists 9 Aryavarta rulers once more. It indicates that certain kings made an effort to cement their supremacy by using the conflict of succession that Samudragupta had to deal with. Samudragupta may have vanquished Achota, Nagasena and Kota Kulaja in this situation. There are no specifics about these conquests or the names of the particular area that they ruled. But according to historians, Achota ruled over Achichetra, Nagsena over the region around Gwalior, and Kota Kulajja are the head of the Kota family in East Punjab and Delhi. Although disagreements still exist regarding these identifications, it is obvious that Samudragupta achieved firm control not just over the Ganga Valley but also over some neighboring regions after fighting them. Now we'll be talking about campaigns in Dakshin Patha or South India. 12 Dakshin Patha or southern Indian kings who were vanquished by Samudragupta are mentioned in the Prayag Prasthi, which are Vivag Raja of Mahakantara, Mahendra of Kosala, Mantra Raja of Korta, Swami Datta of Kotra, Mahendra Giri of Pishatpura, Damana of Iradpala, Vishnu Gopa of Kanchi, Nil Raja of Avamukta, Ugrasena of Palaka, Hasti Varman of Vingi, Kubera of Divrasta, Dhananjaya of Kushtalpura. Regarding the precise identification of these kings and their kingdoms, historians disagree once more. According to Prayag Prasthi, Samudragupta granted them favor by first capturing them and then releasing them. Regarding the monarchs of Aryavarta or North India, he used an entirely different strategy. Along with defeating them, he conquered their lands and incorporated them into the Gupta Empire. Rudurdva, Matila, Nagadatta, Chandravarma, Ganapati Naga, Nagasena, Archota, Nandi, Balavarmana, and other North Indian monarchs were among those Samudragupta vanquished. Although it is impossible to identify them all, it is evident that they ruled over various regions of northern India. Some of them were unmistakably Naga kings who had ruled with authority in a number of areas prior to the Guptas. West Bengal's Chandravarma and other rulers were examples of the new ruling families. According to the Prasthi, Samudragupta relegated all of the states in the forested areas to the status of servants. Frontier states like Samatha in southeast Bengal, Kamrupa in Assam, Nepala in Nepal, and others are mentioned in a different category, as well as republican states like the Malwas, Yodhiyas, Madrikas, and Abiharas. They continued to be autonomous, but Samudragupta had to give his consent to their independence. Foreign rulers of northwest India, such as the later Kushanas and the Saka chiefs, as well as citizens of other island nations such as Simhala or Sri Lanka, were included in this category. After Samudragupta, we will be talking about Chandragupta II. As Samudragupta's successor, Chandragupta II is identified in the Gupta inscriptions. However, it is hypothesized that the successor was Samudragupta's other son Ramagupta, based on literary sources, a few copper coins, and inscriptions. Chandragupta II killed his elder brother Ramagupta, as is mentioned in Vishaka Datta's drama Devi Chandraguptam. Ramagupta was about to be defeated by the Sakas. Thus, in order to save the country, he had agreed to give the Saka ruler his wife. As a result, he did this. After objecting, Chandragupta entered the Saka camp wearing the disguise of the queen Durva Devi. After defeating the Saka monarch, he became hostile towards his brother and killed him before wedding his bride, Durva Devi. The Harishcharita and Kavya Mimamsa, among other sculptures, also make reference to this incident. Inscriptions on the pedestals of certain Jain images discovered in Vidasa bear the name Maharaja Ramagupta, and some copper coins having the name Ramagupta have also been discovered. In a same manner, Durva Devi is identified in a Vaishali seal as the mother of Govindagupta, Chandragupta's son. We can say that Chandragupta came to power at a period when issues were resurfacing and he had to direct military operations to restore Gupta supremacy. By wedding the princess Kubaranaga, whose daughter Prabhavati afterwards wed Rudursen II of the Vakataka line, he entered into marriage connections with the Nagas. A few inscriptions, literary sources, and coins provide information about Chandragupta's campaigns and victories, even though there is no record like Prayag Parasti to describe the events of his reign. These numerous sources claim that Chandragupta II vanquished the Saka monarch Rudrasima III and conquered his realm. Western India's Saka Kshatrapa rule came to an end as a result, and the Gupta Empire now included the states of Gujarat, Kathiawar, and West Malwa. Unknown are the specifics of Chandragupta II's campaigns against the Sakas. His marriage agreements with the Vakatakas and the Nagas must have been extremely important to his campaign planning. The fact that Chandragupta II is mentioned in three inscriptions, two in the Udaygiri caves near Sanchi and one at Sanchi, that all allude to him as well as to his subordinate kings and military officers, also suggest that he spent some time in eastern Malwa preparing for the battles. He is said to have desired to conquer the whole planet, according to one inscription. It is undeniably established that he had fully conquered the Saka land because, despite the fact that Saka coins had been produced continuously for approximately 400 years before to this time, we no longer come across any that were produced after this. Beginning with Chandragupta, the Gupta began producing silver coins in the style of the Saka for this area. The sole difference between these coins and the Saka coins in use up until that point was the addition of their own unique emblems. This unmistakably demonstrates that Chandragupta II gained control of the Saka regions. The myth of Sakari Vikramaditya or Vikramaditya, who was an enemy of the Sakas, appeared to have grown out of Chandragupta II's victory over the Sakas. Many academics have recognized Chandragupta II as the King Chandra, whose exploits are described in the Mehroli iron pillar inscription, which is housed in the Qutub Minar complex in Delhi. This inscription claims that Chandra vanquished Valikas by crossing the Sindhu region's 7 rivers. Due to similarities between Raghu's deeds and those of Chandragupta II, some academics believe the two men are related. Raghu is the protagonist of the Kalidasa's poem Raghuvamsa. The Mehroli inscription also refers to Chandragupta's triumph against Vanga foes. These facts imply that Chandragupta II was successful in expanding the Gupta Empire's borders into western, northwestern, and eastern India. After Chandragupta II, the next ruler in the dynasty was Kumaragupta I. Kumaragupta, the son of Chandragupta II, succeeded his father. A few coin inscriptions and artifacts reveal details about him. For instance, a 415 AD inscription from Bilsad is the earliest documented example of his time. Inscription of Kumar Gupta's minister from Karamdanda from 436 AD indicates that his fame had reached the four oceans. In a stone inscription from Mandosar in 436 AD, Kumar Gupta is described as ruling over the entire planet. He is referred to as Maharaja Adhiraj in the inscriptions on the Damodarpur copper plate, which dates from 433 and 447 AD and reveal that he chose the governor of Pudravardhana Bhukti, the largest administrative region in the empire. The last known date of Kumar Gupta is from a silver coin dated 455 AD. Given the size of the realm covered by his inscriptions, it is likely that he ruled over Gujarat in the west, Magadha and Bengal in the east. According to some theories, the Gupta Empire experienced a foreign invasion in the final year of his rule, which his son Sikandagupta worked to thwart. Now, the next ruler, Sikandagupta. As the successor to Kumaragupta I, Sikandagupta was possibly the final strong Gupta ruler. The nation faced a Hunna assault from beyond the boundaries in the northwest, where he battled the Pushyamitras to strengthen his position. Sikandagupta was able to push the Huns back, though. The gold coinage of Sikandagupta is evidence that the empire's economy was negatively impacted by these wars. The types of gold coins minted by Sikandagupta were constrained in comparison to those of the early kings. He introduced a new heavier weight system for gold coins in addition to adhering to the previous system of weights, but overall his coins contained lesser gold than earlier coins. In addition, it appears he was the final Gupta emperor to produce silver coins in western India. The public works carried during his reign are, however, described in the Junagadh inscription from that period. Due to heavy rains, the Sudarshana Lake, which was initially constructed during the Mauryan era, burst. His governor Pamadatta had it fixed in the early years of his administration. This shows that public works were undertaken by the state. From his silver coinage, Sikandagupta's final confirmed date is 467 AD. Now let me talk about briefly the later Gupta rulers after Sikandagupta. It is unclear exactly what chronological order Sikandagupta's successors held power. Sikandagupta may not have been the legitimate heir to the throne. Therefore, he had to struggle with rivals for the crown. This could be the reason why a seal inscription lists Purugupta and Kumaragupta, not Sikandagupta, as the Gupta emperors who came after Sikandagupta. Second, it is likely that by the end of Sikandagupta's rule, the split of the Gupta Empire into numerous sections had already started. So an inscription from western Malwa written in Sikandagupta's final year referred to previous kings starting with Chandragupta II rather than him. Inscriptions list Buddhagupta, Vinayak Gupta, Bhanugupta, Narsimha Gupta, Baladatya, Kumaragupta II, and Vismegupta as some of Sikandagupta's successors. As Chandragupta II and Kumaragupta I had done in a former era, it is improbable that they all presided over a sizable kingdom. The Gupta ruled until around 550 AD, although by that time their influence had almost completely vanished. Now, in the last section, we'll be talking about disintegration of the Gupta Empire. The Huns, a Central Asian tribe that was successfully expanding in various directions and establishing pockets of control in northwest, northern, and western India, had been a threat to the northwest frontiers since the time of Kumaragupta I. However, the Hunna chief Tormana was able to establish his rule over substantial portion of central and western India by the end of the 5th century AD. His son Meherkula expanded the dominance even more. As a result, the Hunna raids severely damaged Gupta power, especially in the northern and western parts of the empire. As soon as the local chiefs or monarchs recognized Gupta's suzerainty, the Gupta's objective in the conquered regions was to reinstate their power. In actuality, there were no attempts made to impose a strict and efficient management over these areas. Therefore, it was only natural for these local chiefs to reassert their independent power whenever there was a succession issue or a weak monarchy inside the Gupta Empire. Nearly every Gupta king encountered difficulties as a result and had to assert his power. The state treasury was put under stress by the ongoing military operations. A little after the 5th century AD and the start of the 6th century AD, many regional powers increased their dominance and eventually proclaimed their independence by taking advantage of the Gupta emperor's weaknesses. In addition to this, there were a number of other factors that led to the Gupta's decline. For instance, it has been suggested that when the Gupta granted land grants to the Brahman Dhonis, they also relinquished their control over the country's finance and administration. The Samanta system, in which the Samantas or petty kings reigned as subordinates to the central power, is also said to have started to solidify during the Gupta era. There are differing views on the system's history and specifics, but the existence of numerous Samantas within the empire does indicate that they exercised power mostly independently of Gupta rule. There is no question that the Gupta empire's collapse was influenced by conflicts within the imperial dynasty. The concentration of authority in the hands of local chiefs or governors, a slack administrative system, etc., all paved the way towards the decline of Guptas. Dear students, it was all about today's lecture regarding Gupta polity. Hope you have understood it well. See you next time with a new topic. Till then, take care and goodbye.